Is it a good policy in your view?
Well, let me say, first of all, that the Central Bank of Nigeria is independent in terms of its own activities. And I really cannot change or not change their policies. But let me say to you that just take some of the examples. Toothpicks, for example, have been imported into Nigeria. Fertilizer, which we have now cracked with the collaboration we have with Morocco, we are now able to deliver fertilizer at half the cost. So you have fertilizer now as some 6,000, 7,000. At some point it was about 12, 13,000, even higher. So you can no longer do that. And rice is also another example. We were importing practically all of our rice. As I said, $5 million of rice every single day. Today, we're no longer doing so. We've encouraged local production by preventing a situation where anybody can simply go and buy rice. And simply go and open a FOMEM and bring in rice. So if you're going to protect local industry, if you're going to protect local activity, then you need to do something like what you may need to do something, such as what the CBN is doing. Final point on that is that where you have a situation such as we have today, these 41 items, it is not a ban on those items. All that the CBN is saying is you can't come to us for foreign exchange. You can go and source your foreign exchange wherever you want, but you can't come to the CBN for foreign exchange for these items where they believe, which they believe can be produced locally. So that really is the point.
Thank you very much. Candidate of the ANN. Nigeria is perhaps the only oil-producing country in the world today that imports petroleum products. This is because our refineries are not performing optimally. Our refineries are not performing optimally, and so we have to export crude and import refined products. What would you do as Vice President or your government if you get elected? Would you build new refineries or would you privatize the ones that we have now?
Now, like I said the last time, is that we're going to heavily invest in a PPP kind of government, which is a private-public partnership. So we're grateful that at least right now we have one Nigeria that is trying to upgrade, is trying to build refineries. I don't see why, as a country, if the systems are well developed and the processes are strengthened, why we should be bringing in petroleum when we are the ones that have all that. What we should be looking at is building more refineries in the country, expanding on those, and asking the private sector to get involved. Also asking international communities to collaborate with us on how to ensure that the petroleum sector is well strengthened. And also the infrastructure aspect of building the refineries, ensuring that the huge transparency cloud ICT system will be encouraged, so that all the processes and the systems will be transparent enough for everybody to see what's going on, for the common man to know what is going on in the petroleum sector. Right now, a lot of things are not being transparent, and we don't know. But what we want to do differently is to ensure that more refineries are built, more PPP are established, and also to ensure that the diversification, we should not depend at all on petroleum. We should diversify our economy in agriculture, in ensuring that we have more industry, and so on and so forth.
Candidate of the ACPN, some experts have suggested that what is required is a concessioning of some critical infrastructure or sectors of the economy. For instance, the refineries, and even in the aviation sector. What will be the agenda of the ACPN when it comes to power as far as concessioning of critical infrastructure is concerned?
Well, I have said this earlier, that one of the cardinal principles of the ACPN, as contained in our manifesto, is to bring reforms. And the reforms will be in the petroleum sector and other sectors where the government is the major stakeholders. You see, the attitude of Nigerians to public enterprises are nothing to write home about. We have 4 refineries, none of them is working. And they are due to human factors. And if we continue to do this thing, our people will live for people to continue to be vulnerable. What we do is to hands off the interest of government in all the federal government businesses so that they can be handed over to investors. In that way, if you have your own business, you monitor it jealously to make sure that you are making profit. So you do it to make profit. If it is government business, in Nigeria, government business is not anybody's business. So in the reform that we are going to do in the critical sector of the Nigerian economy, all business interests of the government will be privatized, and we will encourage people, we encourage our people and investors. We are necessary, even with funds and partnership, to make sure that services are provided for our people at minimal cost.
Thank you very much. Candidate of the YPP, what would be the major economic thrust of your party, or if you get elected, as far as the aviation sector is concerned?
Well, we know that those days we used to have Nigerian Airways, which were one of the largest airlines in the world. And today, African countries like Egypt, Ethiopia, and others have taken that away from us. The major thing a typical Nigerian needs to get to look into is to see how we can rekindle patriotism into our hearts. Because all these things, we have them in abundance. We have the manpower, we have the resources to fix those things. I think recently we had the news that we're all overjoyed that there will be a kind of the bringing back or the awakening of the Nigerian Airways, which we're all joyful about. But as time goes on, we don't know what happened to it. So to be candid, what Nigeria just needs is patriotic leaders that have Nigeria at heart. This is just what I will say about the aviation sector. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Candidate of the PDP, let me take you to the ICT sector. It is one of the fastest growing in the world today, and the power of ICT to transform the economy is not in doubt. What will your government do as far as the ICT sector is concerned?
Well, you're talking about investment in education, in STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics education. That is the future. I've said it before that the more you invest in education, the better your economy. So we'll aggressively invest in education. I have done this even as a governor of a state, where I took a state from being number 28 to number 1. Because we know the value of education. I was the first to buy and equip all our schools with ICT. I understand what that is all about. Go to HP, I bought the highest computer ever bought by a government in Africa, 30,000. So I know the value. I know what it is today. Just look at one simple thing. The economy of Nigeria is $420 billion. South Africa is 280, that's 700. Egypt, that is number 3, is 250, 950. When Apple market capitalization is 1 trillion. So you need to invest in that. And it's shown clearly in the world that in 2020, you have 25 million STEM jobs available in the world. We will take ICT serious. We will invest in it. That's why I said you can't continue doing subsidy when you need to invest money in the future. You're driving yesterday. If you continue to do what we're doing, you're kind of investing in yesterday. Those who think about yesterday and today will miss tomorrow. We need to invest in tomorrow. And I will invest in ICT aggressively. That's what our government will do. And I'm sure that's what Atiku will do.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Any rebuttals on any of the issues?
Well, Just to say that with respect to technology, we're not talking about what we will do, we're talking about what we are doing. And what we are doing is that we're investing very heavily in technology. At the moment, we've set up 6 technology hubs in the 6 geopolitical zones. Those technology hubs are being funded mainly by the federal government. Some of them are part funded. STEM education is critical, and as you know, we've done the curriculum, which is not just STEM, it's actually STEAM, it includes arts, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, which is very crucial. And we're looking, and we've also invested heavily, even here in Abuja, in 5 model classrooms for technology. We're looking at what to do for technology training and how to make technology training available for everyone. We set up a technology advisory group, which brings in all technology. Okay.
Thank you very much. At this point in time, we'll go on a break, and when we return, we'll be talking a lot more about the economy in Nigeria. Stay with us.